Hi Empire Builders, Bill Pitcher here from the Empire Building Network with 10 tips to help you get your blog ready for the Erindale update coming to the Empire Avenue site. Now, before we get down to part one of the 10 items, which will focus on content-related tips, I want to say if you don't have a blog, that you really should consider getting one and recognize that it's not nearly as difficult as you might think it is. And there's lots of people like myself that would love to help you get set up. And you don't have to be a great writer or content producer. Just speak from the heart, put in writing or in video what the kinds of things you would say if you were having a conversation with somebody. And you can do like I do, focus on Empire Avenue, or you can, talk about a favorite hobby. Just because you have a blog doesn't mean that it's connected to Empire Avenue. It doesn't mean it has to be Empire Avenue related. So let's get down to the first 5 tips in part 1. And the first one is to answer the question, why should I care? So I'm the reader. Why should I care about what you're writing? If all you're going to do is say, oh, I'm so frustrated today, or I had a great day, and that, why should I care about that? Now, that doesn't mean you can't sort of relate personal stories, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's something that you think is going to be interesting to the reader. And so always say, how do I make this engaging to the reader? And part of the reason that you want to do that is that your scores on Empire Avenue, your connection scores or your influencer scores, are going to be related to how engaged you've made your audience and how big of an audience you attract. So obviously you want to seek a way to have compelling content, and as I said, you don't have to be a Shakespearean writer in terms of quality to do that, but you do have to make sure that you've answered the question, why should I care? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is aim for frequency, okay? Rather than, I write some fairly long blog posts, but I do try to post something every day. And lately I've been posting one big thing and 2 smaller things every day. You don't have to be insane like I am, but try to get a little something posted as much as you can, and consider dividing big stories up into smaller pieces so that you can maintain that frequency. What you want is you want people in the habit of checking you out. When I've had days in the past where I haven't written something, I've actually had people message me and say, hey, I miss you. I like going and checking out what you've gotten. I've gotten them in the habit of checking, and given how hard content discovery is and the like, that's a very important feature. So try to aim for frequency, not necessarily total quantity, but a little bit on a regular basis. Point number 3 is consider working with somebody else. When all you do is post on your own once or twice a week, or even three times a week, it's just not enough content to really grab a loyal audience. And so if you kind of partner up with somebody else and say, hey, do you want to go in on this together? Or indeed, you're more than welcome to set up an author's blog at the Empire Building Network. You are tapping into then a combined audience, an audience that will come to read your content plus whoever you're working with. So I really recommend trying to get other people involved with you on your blog. The only thing you need to do is to make sure you've got a mechanism, if you're doing it on your own, in terms of having somebody joining you, is that you have a way, if you're both going to link the blogs on your profiles, which you want to do to get the credit, is to have separate feeds for that. So you got to make sure you know how to do that. So I really recommend point number 3, working with somebody else on your content. Point number 4 is to diversify your content. And this is to have different kinds of things that you're saying so that you are attracting as broad as possible an audience. If you focus too narrowly, all you're going to do is appeal to a specific subgroup of people. Now, that can be okay if you're getting so much engagement out of that small group of people that you're doing well. But if you can, on a regular basis, provide information on sort of more than one area, that will help you draw a bigger audience. I focus pretty much exclusively my content on Empire Avenue, but I try to make sure that I sort of have discussion pieces, that I have tips, that I have some things that have humor to them, and I also vary up, in addition to the content, the way that I present them. So here I'm doing a video right now that you're watching. I also write pieces. I also include cartoons. I include quotations. And I use actually more than one blog as well. Not because I'm trying to max out any points. If I've got 2 blogs, is that better than 1? I think really it's about what kind of readership and response are you getting, and how much are you posting. I think 1 blog is just fine. But the reason that I use 2 is that I have a fun one that I don't worry about being as well crafted as the one that you're watching this video on, and I'm not opposed to sort of posting other kinds of fun and silly things on there as well. So it's kind of like a no rules blog, whereas this one I take a little bit more seriously, and so that's why I've created 2 that I use on a frequent basis. So point number 4 is diversify your topics, your content, and even perhaps the way you deliver that content. Point number 5 is promote other people, and some other folks have talked about this. I know Adriel recently did a blog post on this, and I always remember talking to the publisher of a small town newspaper who said that his job was to get every person in town to get their name in the paper at least once a year, and that if he did that, he had a successful paper. And so, find things that you can mention about other people. I haven't done a great job of that in this particular post, but I do try to do it from time to time, and it will really help you be successful from a content perspective. So that's it. Point number 5. Promote other people, and those are my first 5 content related items, and look for part 2, where we'll focus on 5 technical aspects to getting your blog ready for the Erindale update. Thanks a lot, and happy empire building.